He's been a great friend of the country. He really has, and he's worked with Tom Homan and Christie and all the people that work so hard. They have been incredible. And I wasn't going to do this, but I see Tom Homan is sitting there, and I have to call him up. Look at that. I don't call up the Speaker of the House. I don't call up Marco or Peter or anyone. But I want to call this guy because this guy is keeping us very, very safe. Come on up, Tom.
Well, look, I think this issue of the big, beautiful bill should be nonpartisan. I don't know what the hell's the matter with everybody up in Congress? People are dying every day. ICE is arresting 3 times as many criminals that the Biden administration did. We're taking public safety threats and national security threats off the street every single day. But we got over 600,000 illegal aliens with criminal histories walking the streets of this country. We got less than 5,000 deportation officers. This should be a no-brainer. The more resources we get, if we get this bill passed, we got more agents on the road. We buy more beds, we get more transportation flights. More agents means more bad guys arrested, taken off the streets of this country every single day. Every day we arrest a public safety threat or national security threat. This makes this country much safer. Who the hell would be against that? And I get irritated, I get pissed off because I'm sick of meeting angel moms and dads. You want to talk about family separation? They bury their children. So I've done this since 1984. I've worked for 6 different presidents. No one has had the success of the Trump administration. We got the most secure border in the history of this nation today. But we need more border wall. Border walls save lives. Women and children can't get over that wall, which means they go to a place where there's not a wall. And what's waiting on them? The men and women of the Border Patrol who take care of the humanitarian needs and save their lives. We already got fentanyl seizures down half. Fentanyl seizures should be 100%. We should have 0 fentanyl coming to this country. We need money to help secure that border at a higher level. Stop the fentanyl from coming in. Stop the sex trafficking of women and children. Stop the known suspected terrorists coming across that border. Right now, I was looking at the stats today. ICE is arresting a record number of known suspected terrorists in this country, along with the FBI. With more money, we can arrest more of these people, make this country safer. This is a nonpartisan issue. Let's make this country safe again. So to the Democrats and the Republicans and the Independents, I don't care who you're from, pass the bill so we can make this country safe, so we can stop the violence against ICE officers. Let's make this country safe again, and without that bill, it's going to be a hard road. We got a lot of people to look for, a lot of people to arrest, a lot of national security threats we know are in this country. We need to find them. We need more money to do that. We need more agents to do that. For God's sake, let's pass this bill and get this done.
He got so angry he didn't even shake my hand or look at me. Just.
Man, I love little moments like that. For a brief moment, it cuts through all the noise of politics, and it's just a joke back and forth between 2 buddies. And I've seen it all the time. I've seen it under the Gold Dome down in Atlanta. I've seen it in Frankfort, Kentucky. I've even seen it up on Capitol Hill. It happens across all parties. But you know what's really rare? When you get someone who is as dedicated as Tom Homan and as fiery as Tom Homan. It's rare that you get that mix of both competency and public speaking. And he's simply cutting through the noise of politics, trying to remind members of Congress, guys even like Thomas Massie and Rand Paul, that we need to increase spending down at the border in order to protect against the problems of fentanyl, of human trafficking, of the cartels that make our country less safe. Forget the fact that Venezuela quite literally opened up their prisons and sent people here to the United States. Forget that for a moment. Even forget the story of Laken Riley and the warning of what happens when you are that much of a sanctuary city of the third world country that is Athens, Clarke County. We need to remember that the goal of these policies isn't to just be this mean-spirited country, get off my lawn. No, that's not what Tom Homan is about either. That man has told harrowing stories where he's held dying children in his arms because that child was in an incredibly unsafe situation, and ICE or might have been the Border Patrol at the time found them and tried to keep this kid alive. Stories like that aren't just harrowing; it's a different kind of evil that has been allowed. And the reason that they're pushing the big beautiful bill so hard, even though it increases spending, is because it solves problems like this. Here in the United States, we are just ravaged by what happens when fentanyl's trafficked. It does not matter if you're in Appalachia or downtown Philadelphia. It doesn't matter if you're in Seattle or Spokane. It does not matter if you are in Atlanta or Americus down in South Georgia. At least I hope I said that right. Man, I'm going to hear an earful if I get that one wrong. But it happens in rural, suburban, and urban communities everywhere, and it's awful. And then when it comes to the issues of illegal immigration, there are only 5,000 Border Patrol agents. That's not enough to deal with the problems. And granted, the current deportation process, it's good as it is now, but they need help. They need extra help. Here are the current numbers. Migrants in ICE detention, data current through June 20th, 2025, it's only 55,764. And the numbers that go along with it aren't great either. 28.6% have criminal convictions, another 25.6% has pending criminal charges, and almost half of them have been listed as other immigration violator, and only 11.4% of them have been fast-tracked for deportation. It's not enough. It's a great start. It is a great turnaround from the craziness that we saw under the Biden administration, where Alejandro Mayorkas would rather put agents on sandwich duty and driver duty than, I don't know, patrolling the border and making sure the cartels are failing to get the drugs and human trafficking across our border. That's what we need. We need the whole thing that launched Trump's political career back in late 2014 was the threat of building the wall. And that stuck. It is now 10 years later since that moment. 10 years. It might have been early 2015. Might be getting my dates mixed up a little bit. But seriously, I hate being wrong more than I love winning. So let me know in the comments when exactly it was he came down the escalator and talked about illegal immigration. Well, now it's time to start ramping up what needs to be done. There are people in this country who do not need to be here. There are people that are making things worse who have come across our border illegally. And those people need to go. They need to go home. And then we could start talking about actually fixing some of our broken foreign policy problems. Maybe there's some policies that we can help with that will make sure that no one from South America, no one from Central America, nowhere from any part of the world feels the need to leave their own home country and come here to the States because we're making the world great again. I think that's a fair thing to think about. But it's rare that you get someone like Tom Homan, who is the total package when it comes to what you actually want out of a government employee, not to mention he has the heart and soul of a man who's tired but still in the fight. Donald Trump is right to make him the border czar, and you could tell that they have a fantastic working relationship. And so, if there's ever a good argument to be had for the big beautiful bill, it's this. It solves one of our major problems on our southern border. If you want to talk about other kind of reforms that we desperately need, obviously, have at it. But the big beautiful bill is perhaps one of the last great pieces of landmark legislation, and if it requires something like this, more money for more ICE agents to protect our border, so be it, and it needs to happen. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Till then, y'all have a good one.